This was me, just over 2 weeks ago, out of open heart surgery.
And this is how I've been. To sum it up in one word, pretty grateful. Pretty grateful because it's been a rough experience, but I've had a lot of good messages, kind messages from all my friends and family, and for that, thank you very much. I'm very grateful for that. It's made the experience much better than it otherwise would have. I might look a lot better now than I did before in hospital, and that's because, yes, I do feel much better. But if you see my shoulders right now, I'm hunched, and it's really because I can't move my shoulders back anymore. At least not until my sternum bone heals. Because what they did was they cut open my sternum to access my heart, and it's being held together by some steel rings right now. And until that heals, the body naturally is gonna hunch over. So I'm a hunchback now. So yeah, enjoy posture while you can. About the surgery, I think it went pretty smoothly. I'm rather young for a person getting heart surgery, so I'm kind of like the ideal candidate, and yeah, like last thing I remember was getting wheeled from the anesthesiologist room to the surgical theatre and seeing the surgeon. And I remember trying to count up to 10. I made it to 3. So yeah, that was it. Lights out. I wake up, and the first thing I notice before I even open my eyes is like I can't breathe, and that's because I'm breathing through tubes in my lungs. They have, like, I don't know, something down my throat to pump air in, and I have to stop breathing in order to breathe because I can't move air into my lungs yet. And when I wake up, they pull out the tube that was pumping air into me, and then I have to think about trying to breathe again, because before I was trying to stop breathing to breathe, and once the tube was out, now I had to breathe again consciously. So that was a bit of a strange experience. And then also at that time, I had a lot of like medicines in me and a lot of like anesthesia in me, and I think I don't remember saying this, but apparently I said, the first thing I said was, my balls are hot. Because I don't know, I must have been hot. But yeah, so I couldn't really move, to be honest. They had me like on one of those like bed tables, like yeah, the patient beds with the incline. And there were all sorts of tubes coming out of me. They were like, I must have looked like some kind of cyborg machine in hibernation or something. Yeah, there was like tubes from my nose. There was like one here in my neck. There was one in my forearm. There was a tube coming out of me right underneath my sternum as well, like a thick one. And there was also a tube for urine as well. We'll get into that later. But yeah, I remember like before being quite anxious before the surgery because I kind of needed to pee, and in the anesthesiast room, the nurse was like, "Hey, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it." I didn't quite know what that meant, but it turns out like I probably should have thought about it a little beforehand. But yeah, the surgery went well. So I've just been recovering since then. So I think the main priority for them was really to get me breathing again. And once I was breathing my own, then they wanted to make sure my lungs didn't collapse. So I think after the first day, they got me standing up again, with the help of physio. So I was like, I was like hunched over, and I was told to hold a pillow to my chest like this, and the physio like got me, basically held me up and got me walking around, and this is so that your lungs don't collapse and they stretch out a bit, because I think like because the heart thing and all the blood thing is like they have tubes and stuff for that. So the only thing they really worry about is like your breathing, because they don't want to stick a tube down your throat for too long. I guess, because I guess that's like one of the most uncomfortable experiences.
So the physio is still holding my pee bag and my blood bag for me, while it's still attached to me with tubes as I'm walking across this whole unit. So I have to do a lap and then come back.
I would say it's quite dehumanizing, being that unable to do stuff, because you can't really do anything without the help of anyone else. Like, you can't really sit up without the help of like either the bed being electronically lifted, or you might have to even call a nurse to like roll over. Otherwise, they might think that you're gonna, I don't know, damage your sternum or something. Because the risk was like either you stop breathing, like something happens with your lungs, or like you dislocate your sternum and they have to reoperate, which would be very bad if that happened. Very, very bad. I don't want that to happen. So, yeah. Yeah. I distinctly remember like one of the first nights, I had to call a nurse over, and just to help me sit up, and it was just like very, very confronting. Yeah. But one of the most confronting experiences was probably the urine tube. Now I don't know if you know about this fish in the Amazon called the candiru. But anyway, this fish called the candiru has an urban legend associated to it. So this fish in the Amazon River, has a legend that it follows the scent of like urine, and it latches itself into fish's gills. But in the case of a human, if a human was urinating in the Amazon, right, it would travel up the pee stream and latch itself inside, right? And that's always been a horror of mine ever since I discovered it in high school. And there is a medical version of that, which is the pee tube, which is you have because you can't consciously pee, right, and you can't get pee in the operating theater, they put a tube inside, and it is very strange to have the sensation of feeling like a warm liquid is exiting you, but you can't control it. It's very strange. I've never felt like more geriatric in my life.
And these are all the medications I'm on. I just drink water so I can swallow pills.
Doesn't matter how long it takes, like it's just not being able to do simple things like that. It just really feels like, I don't know, it just gets to you. And I think partly it might have been the morphine or like the painkillers, but I did have some severe mood swings, I think. Like sometimes I would be like, I would feel like I'm fine, and other times I'd just be so, I'd feel so stuck. And so definitely seeing people and having visitors helped a lot. So thank you if you visited. And also thank you if you sent some good, like kind messages, because you really only have yourself, because you can't really, like, I didn't even have my phone for the first 3 days, because I couldn't charge it, and honestly I couldn't even reach my phone. So yeah, it was quite tough. I don't know how nurses do it, but shout out to all the nurses, shout out to all the doctors. You guys are angels. Yeah, there's just something about not being able to do simple bodily functions and being strapped up. It just kind of limits the way you can think, and it makes things makes things seem so much more constricted. Like, especially because like I'm used to be able to have whatever autonomy I want. Like I can do whatever I want. I can go driving, whatever. And um, just being restrained to a bed for that long, um, yeah, you just really have to surrender your your previous thoughts and conceptions of what you can do, and that's really quite challenging. It's yeah, it's quite rough, uh, and it got me thinking. Like, there's the normal people that they see are just like elderly people, right? People who, um, the heart has only worked so long, and it needs like assistance, right? People who have hit the limit of kind of what is physically possible with what they're given, and they have to like get some sort of extra assistance. And like, to think that this is kind of what the human body is. It's just a machine that eventually it runs out of steam, and in the end, everyone just ends up with P-tube. Like, no matter how rich you are, how much money you have, how many accomplishments, at the end of the day, you just end up with P-tube. And I think what the difference is that if you have friends, they can bring you some mee goreng or some instant noodles that taste much better than the hospital food. So I think that's the goal. The goal is to if you ever end up, well, the goal is to never end up there, right? Or put that off as long as possible. But if you have to end up there, get some mates to bring you some protein, because some days like the food didn't have any protein, and I don't know if I could live as a vegetarian, honestly. So yeah, for me right now, everything's kind of an experiment. Like, I don't know if you've seen this. This is like, apparently it's called a spirometer. I'm just practicing inhaling to test my lung capacity. But I would much rather just be outside. I can't drive right now, so I'm at the whim of, whatever I can get by, whoever I can convince to come over and visit me. But yeah, like, my heart rate is like, it's like 20 above normal. Right now it's like 94. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it's 20 above normal. So, like, even going upstairs, sometimes it hits 150. And I'm not supposed to really be over 100, apparently. So right now it's like kind of an experiment of what I can do, apart from sitting. So yeah, I'll slowly figure that out. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it all. And if you have any kind messages, thank you again. Thank you again if you left any kind messages or well wishes. I really appreciate that. And yeah, hopefully when I do go into like rehab, maybe I'll show what that's like as well. So yeah, see ya.